Worm keeps turning on this one. So, originally, I really didn't plan to do anything on this because I was actually kind of being targeted in this, and I brought this up in the last video, and someone was a little curious. I wasn't being brought up by name, but Aaron put out a post where he's defending himself against the charge that he betrayed a woman who has a lawsuit against Scientology, as well as some other people, and he tried to insinuate that me and other people were lying about him. Now, to put it mildly, this is a very difficult, convoluted case, and I could be wrong. The way I understand it is there's a Jane Doe who is suing Scientology proper, right? A lawsuit against David Miscavige and some other people. But she also seems to have a lawsuit against someone else, and Aaron intervened into that case. But he brought out text from this person, allegedly, that he was authorized to do it. And he also notes that the complaint that she had against someone was kind of well known in the ex-Scientology community. Well, being A.A. Ron, who has, to put it mildly, been through a couple of scandals, and even people who defend him don't deny these are scandals. They're just like, yeah, these are scandals. We don't care, though. And there we are. So the split is between people who think these scandals are very troublesome and those who think, yeah, I mean, they're scandals, but I still love A.A. Rons. And there we go. And there are several problems with even commenting on this case because, of course, the more you're going to comment, the more people are going to be curious and think, who is this? And the whole point is to protect the identity of the Jane Doe. So it's very, very confusing and very problematic all around. I will note one fact that does seem clear. This is not Bixler, right? For those who don't know, Bixler is a very vocal critic of Danny Masterson and one of his victims. And I don't deny her victimhood, although I think she's mythologizing what happened with her, but it is what it is. And we're going to get to that. So it's not Bixler because she's become a public figure. So we're not talking about her. So it's one of the other Jane Does, but who it is, I think I know who it is, but I'm not going to say. So Aaron is kind of defending himself in two ways. One, legally, he wasn't doing any doxing because he wasn't obligated to hide her identity, right? This information was technically public. Well, this is where we get to this second case that he's defending himself factually, saying this is public knowledge. He was just drawing attention to it. Oh, by the way, he didn't leak the document. He gave it to someone else. This person I would assume is Rabbit, although Mirriam Francis has come forward and said that yes, she helped in this operation. So what the hell is happening and what is really going on? Well, putting it bluntly, Aaron, Rabbit, and Mirriam Francis for a while had a vendetta against Mike Rinder. Now, I think Mike Rinder is a very problematic figure, so if you want to be very critical of him, which I think is fine, you can do that. But you can do this in a dishonest way or an honest way. Think of the analogy with this, like with Hitler. Now, to put it mildly, Hitler is definitely guilty of many crimes. But I just saw this thing on Twitter where someone just said out of nowhere, oh, by the way, he's a PDF file. And I'm like, well, I've read quite a few Hitler biographies. I can even name them, if you want me to, through the titles. I know of no reputable biography that says, oh, he's a PDF file. Definitely the Nazi regime had, to put it mildly, a weird fixation on young men, right? Tons of statues, paintings, and propaganda, but PDF file. No source was given either. It's just like, Hitler's a PDF file. Well, it's the same with Mike Rinder. People are just accusing him of things that clearly he's not guilty of because, hey, good headlines, your video gets clicks, and you make some good money. And I'm talking about people like Marilyn Honig, who has been notorious at just digging up the most ridiculous little detail and saying, you need to answer these questions rendet to the Book of Uranus, and so on and so forth. So there is a lot to criticize about Mike Rinder, but I don't think Mirriam or Rabbit or Aaron are being serious critics. They're just, frankly, acting like tabloid journalists, which is, frankly, an insult to tabloid journalism, because I do read that, too, and sometimes they get things right, including about Scientology, so they're kind of below tabloid journalists. They were just trying to fulfill their little personal vendetta and basically roped in this Jane Doe, and as far as we know, she did not want to be a part of this. She did not encourage this, but she did share the information, so it's a little troubling all around. Was the Jane Doe really that naive? I don't know. I don't know this woman personally. I think I know who it is, and she's been through a lot. If her story pans out, then it's pretty sad and devastating. And I would assume she's maintaining anonymity, at least at this point, of this recording because she doesn't want to get her name in the papers. She is technically someone who has spoken out. If it is who I think it is, she has spoken out, but she's not been identified in this case. Now, whether we should respect that privacy in legal terms on YouTube, that is an open question. But Aaron did dox her, because if you just went through the videos carefully, you would make pretty obvious assumptions. Say, oh, well, if this happened, this happened, this happened, and here's the timeline. Oh, and by the way, this person was on this show, and they know Aaron through this way, and they clearly have to know Mike Rinder. So it's like, it's not going to be that hard. You're just going to keep searching through photos of women with him and Mike Rinder and her, and you're going to figure it out. And that's what Aaron is trying to skate through. That, well, this is kind of public knowledge anyway. It's not really public knowledge, but I'm going to treat it as public knowledge. But let me focus a little bit on Mirriam Francis, because, boy, she has been selling herself as this innocent angel for way too long. Now, it's in my self-interest to go along with this lying. So now Mirriam's saying, I was fooled too. He fooled a Jane Doe. He fooled me. It's just disgusting and disturbing. So only now, in the last 3 weeks, are women questioning AA Rons. Oh yeah, Liz Gale put out a video saying, guys, I'm not going to name names, but I'm questioning a certain big, bad man who's terrorizing women in Florida. I can't say who it is. Alrighty then, so now the women are finally waking up. Really? Do I believe any of this nonsense? No. There were questions about Aaron last year. There were questions about Aaron before last year. Now, if Mirriam Francis wants to sell her soul and integrity, that is her business. I'm not really going to judge. She is a victim. She has been horribly ignored for years and years, and I get it. If you see your other friends and colleagues making lots of money doing nonsense about Tom Cruise, it probably would upset you, and it probably would upset me, saying, well, why the hell is he getting all the money and attention? He's not really doing anything, and I get that. However, I don't think the cure here is more mass media deception and new deceptive mythologies. Now, she is a victim. She's definitely been victimized. But the Mike Rinder angle is, to put it mildly, kind of very weak. I'm not saying all her content is worthless. Some videos do point to some disturbing possible cover-ups. But even there, it's kind of weak. That said, I'm all for good information, even if I don't like the person or even respect the person. So I don't respect Mirriam Francis. She is just lying, like, so over the top. Like, her story before was like, oh, Mike Rinder and the Osas fooled me for 15 years, but now I've woken up. I will no longer be controlled by Mike Rinder and the Osas. Oh, I got tricked again. Really? Is she really that naive? She was part of a very deceptive propaganda campaign for money and fame, and there you go. She's got her little audience. It is what it is. We're done. So now her backstabbing Aaron, saying, oh, Aaron, you betrayed us all. Well, let's be a little bit more contextual. There's clearly quid pro quo happening. Aaron had Mirriam on his channel to promote herself and her stories. Okay, fine, so be it. And then they had a fundraiser for her. Fine, so be it. And apparently she made some good money, $20,000 to $25,000. And I would bet a lot of money that Aaron's SBTV Foundation has also given Mirriam some money. So now that she's got the money in the bank, and presumably she got off really good, because Liz Ferris has a really bad contract where she can't speak out. So I'm guessing Mirriam got lucky and got the money without any contract specifying she can't speak out, so she's speaking out. So what does she have in her bank account? 20, 30,000, 40,000. Don't know, don't care. She sold out. She sold her integrity. She sold her soul. Whatever. It happens every day. It happens a lot with the ex-Scientologists. I'm not really judging. I'm just being empirical about the issue. So do I believe that Aaron deceived her? No. No. It's just becoming convenient for certain women now to demonize Aaron conveniently, even though months ago they were silent or promoting him. So these were alliances of convenience, and now that it's no longer convenient, the alliances are collapsing. It's just typical Machiavellian warfare. And listen, Mirriam has been mistreated and ignored by a lot of the community, so I get it. She just wants her place in the sun. It's understandable. There's a lot of ranking going on in this ex-Scientology community. Either you're on top or you're on the bottom. If you're on the bottom, you feel really bad. So it is what it is. If she wants to say that Aaron lied to her, that's going to be her story. I don't believe it. I think they're both liars. I think they're still lying to us now. And again, it's in my self-interest to pretend, oh, Mirriam is the beautiful, great angel feminist activist. Oh, she's going to save us. She'll save us from Rindo and Aaron. She'll join Nora and the beautiful and the gay and the... No, no. It's just very troublesome figures. Some with a real traumatic past, like Mirriam, and some with a fake traumatic past, like Aaron, selling themselves and selling some very biased accounts of what happened. Again, the dilemma is we just don't know a lot until the Jane Doe comes forward. But she doesn't want to come forward, which we have to respect. So we're just stuck. So maybe I got things wrong and I should apologize to Aaron. But to put it mildly, Aaron is definitely being deceptive. But do I think he lied to Mirriam Francis? No. And if it was a lie, Mirriam Francis knew it was a lie. She didn't care. She, Rabbit, and Aaron were playing a little vendetta game, and now it's falling apart. And she's just throwing Aaron under the bus. But she's not much different than him, unfortunately.